Hi, my name's Helen, and I guess you could say I'm a seeker of spiritual truth and enlightenment. I had my call to wake up a few years ago, and when I was doing some research, a little bit of seeking, I managed to find a really brilliant book called The Answers by Simon M. That really opened my eyes and changed the way I thought about things. And today, I'm fortunate enough to be able to speak with the elusive Simon M. about the dimensions. So, Simon, thank you so much for having a chat with me today.
Hi Helen, you are absolutely welcome.
And I just wanted to ask you, really, first of all, about 1D, because that's one of the more really important dimensions. They're all so important. But can you tell us about what 1D is and why it's such an important dimension?
Okay, so most people in the modern day would understand 1D as the ethos of mind, body, and spirit. You've heard of that, I suppose, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1D is really about self. Now, if you look through all religions around the world, they all have an expression of this. So, for example, in Christianity, there's a kind of know thyself. You've heard that expression?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
if you go into Buddhism, you find the path of self-awareness.
Uh-huh.
You know, there is this understanding of self held within all religious cultures. And in the West, we really sort of nutshell it as this mind, body, and spirit ethos in a modern time. It's really kind of caught on under that label.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is about self. So if we kind of look at the concept and go, okay, well, mind, what is your mental perception and consciousness towards yourself? Do you
Mm-hmm.
love yourself? Do you hate yourself?
Yeah, I
Do you
think,
hold emotion towards yourself? Or are you ignorant to yourself and what yourself is doing?
yeah, I think most people would probably answer yes to most of those questions.
That's right. So when you embark on the first D journey, it's really about finding yourself in mind, finding yourself in the physical, and that can play out along the lines of, everybody's slightly different in terms of what their body responds to with food, with medicines, with all these sorts of things. And
Mm-hmm.
especially people in the mind, body, and spirit field, they're also known as the holistic industry sometimes. And all holistic practitioners have all said the same to me for many, many years, which is some people respond really well to one treatment,
Mm.
other people won't respond to it.
Yeah, and
They'll need a different type of treatment.
yeah, I've experienced that personally, so I can, yeah, totally
Okay,
agree with
right.
that.
So you can see how important it is to understand the physical self. And if your body needs nutrition and your physical life requires action, how is the best way to conduct yourself in those actions? Is it with a bearing in mind of reflectional reality of the world itself? Therefore, what goes around comes around. And your karmic account is always active. You can't shut your account down. It'll always be there.
Yeah.
So if your physical actions are generating you bad reflections and bad karma,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to really adjust self and the physical self in the way you behave.
Yeah.
You've then got the soul, which is really something that, when you know the other parts of ourselves, we can take time to sort of step back a little bit and observe the more subtle forces of energy around the human self. So, for example, some people call it the aura, some people might call it the soul, some people call it the spirit, some people class it as an electromagnetic biosphere. Whatever you consider that thing to be, it's there. They've talked about it for eons. Science is just starting to cotton on to the reality of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much one of those things where the soul exists in conjunction with the physical self. Okay,
Okay.
so many people for a long time have thought we're on a physical journey of life trying to understand the soul. And it turns out we're actually on a soul journey of life, understanding the physical self.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And when your mind can come to that realization and be in touch with the soul, we're ready to really embrace other people in their complete self. It's no good stepping into 2D until you've accepted everybody has a soul, and that soul is going to be affected by the same things that your soul's going to be affected by. That soul energy in everybody is so sensitive, animals, humans, that when we learn to understand that soul side of ourselves, we can really get to grips with the thing called compassion.
Okay. And in terms of work that you've done with people with regards to their soul, and their soul journey, so to speak.
Well, the soul is a complex thing. When you consider lifetimes, reincarnation, so on and so forth, there's a lot to deal with on a soul level. But before you embark on that soul journey, you've got to find a soul peace.
Okay.
Now, many people within 1D embark on meditation, peace of mind therapy, all this sort of ideal quiet place therapy, happy place therapy, all these different ideas to be able to return the mind to a positive, call it reset point.
Okay.
Because at a soul level, we can be affected by energies at a very, very subtle level, but it can often really affect it. A good example of this is I worked within the ghost tour industry for a short period of time, and one of the things that I did was notice that almost every tour group that went to a certain property to do an investigation all seemed to have the exact same argument within the group, all come away from the place with exactly the same emotions and negativity and problems.
How amazing to see that.
And I saw that in almost 3.5 different tour groups. It was quite an incredible thing to see how powerfully they were all affected by the energies of that property exactly the same.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite freaky.
Yeah, working with the spiritual realms and the side of the soul is very enlightening. And it's only truly when you get control of your mind and your physical self in 1D that you start to notice and understand what incredible effect the soul has on your life. And getting in touch with that can be an incredible thing. Many people unlock gifts and potentials that they have at a soul level that they never realize without going down this route. It's an incredible thing.
That's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Okay. Thank you very much. Is there anything more that you can tell us about 1D, or that you think would be a really good thing to...
Well, the structure of reality is multi-dimensional. There's a lot to it, and as I try and explain this to you, you'll see there's quite a lot to it. Now, all I would say is this, which is without a really good 1D platform of understanding yourself, it's very easy to get into negative states of affairs with things. A good example of this is most recently a friend of mine said that she happened to mention the Schumann's resonance and the fluctuations recently of the Schumann's resonance to her sister. Her sister kind of looked horrified and went, "Is the earth in trouble?" And to me,
Yeah.
I've been asked a similar question, and I would say
Yeah.
quite simply, no, the earth's not in trouble. We're being forced to wake up, and Mother Earth's probably responsible for our awakening because she's had enough.
Yeah. I can understand the concern.
Yeah, absolutely. But without a good understanding of what's happening on the broader picture and
Yes.
seeing the incredible structure of life and how it guides us, it looks after us, it helps us, it's not going to suddenly screw us over unnecessarily. That's the point you need to be able to see, and that's
Yeah.
what I think you find with good 1D mind, body, and spirit understanding of self.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much, the elusive Simon M.
You're more than welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.